a question that I am asked so often is, how did this all come about for me? How did I end up sitting in this chair this evening doing what I'm about to do? So I just want to explain, just you know, to let people understand a bit more how it all came about for me. And when I was about 19, I started having these fits, these attacks, some weird things, whereupon I would fall upon the floor, and I didn't know, I knew everything that was going on, but I couldn't actually. People would say, oh, get an ambulance and all this, Blossom, can you hear us? And I could, but I couldn't move a muscle to let them know. You know, and they'd say, move your finger if you can hear me. Couldn't, but I was absolutely fine wherever it was that I was, which I thought was in my body. And these went on for about 17, 18 years. Not all the time, thank God, but intermittently for, you know, I might have a period of them where I'd have them every day for about 5 or 6 weeks, and my eyes were dead when that happened, and it was like I wasn't on the planet. I probably wasn't, I don't know. But, and then the minute I was better, my eyes came back to life again. And then I'd have months, you know, 5, 6 months with being absolutely normal and everything was fine. And then I'd suddenly have these sort of, oh dear, I'm feeling a bit odd, here we go again, and off I'd go. And we had a very gifted lady staying with us. And I'd done healing. Now when I say I'd done healing, I mean maybe 3 times a year. You know, I was just very interested in reading spiritual books, didn't know many people that were into that kind of thing, but I did do the odd bit of healing. And I became aware of a Native American Indian here, standing here. And one time when I was doing this healing, I asked if I might know his name, and I got through White Cloud. I'd never heard of that. I'd heard of Chief Sitting Bull and all this sort of stuff, but I'd never heard of White Cloud. So I said, okay. And this lady gave me a reading that was staying with us, and she said, I have your Indian here, and he's asking if you'd like to ask a question. And I said, yes, what is the matter with me? Because I'd had brain scans, I'd had epilepsy tablets, you know, they'd tried everything and they couldn't find out what this problem was. And literally, not to be too dramatic, but just to tell you sort of how sort of quite serious it was at the time, if I sort of had a fit, I'd just fall over, and you know, when they, sometimes if they had to get the ambulance, if I was out or something, I could literally hear the ambulance men saying, can't get a pulse, can't get a pulse, and I'd go grey. And they obviously thought I would popped my clogs, you know, but I hadn't. I was perfectly all right in there, but couldn't tell them. So, and then I had a spate of these attacks, and this lady, this gifted clairvoyant, was living with us. And I was pretty depressed at the time because I just couldn't sort out what it was. And she said, Blossom, I've got your Indian here, and he's doing this. And he's getting really frustrated because he wants to talk to you. And he's asking if you'll get a pen and paper, and you know, he'll come through. Well, because I've been into spiritual matters for 20-odd years, you know, and really had studied things, and I wasn't like going, what? You know, I was like, oh, well, okay, I'll give it a go. So I sat down with this piece of, this little book and a pen, and then I just put, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. And whew, all this information just came through, pages and pages of it. And he said that we had agreed to do this many moons ago, and that if I was still up for it, he would like to speak through me. But, okay. And so that's what happened. We arranged a meeting, and I would like to say, because I always forget this very important bit, as from that minute of writing in the book, my fits went away. I've never been ill since. That's, you know, 10 years ago. They just disappeared. Hence I felt it was a bit of a calling or something. So so that was that really, and that's simply, and from there on he asked me to record the meetings, and that I'd put them down and they would become books, which at the time I thought, and nonetheless there we are, the books are there. I find him, and those who, there are many in the room, some who know White Cloud quite well, who to be the most loving, compassionate, light being that you could possibly feel really. Over the 10 years that we've worked together, when he first came through, I couldn't move a muscle, and I had 90 double chins, and he spoke really deeply and really slowly, and all this. Now, his level is much more up on my tone of voice, and he opens his eyes, and he makes a joke, and we've learned to work together in a very different, in a very different way. So really, that's all I just needed to sort of explain. That's how I come to be sitting here tonight. And I also would just like to say to you what happens when he's coming through. So because people say, well, do you know what he's saying, and this, that and the other. What happens is I start, which you will see, taking some very deep breaths and pulling some very unattractive faces as he's coming in. We have a little joke because I also am able to bring in some other light beings, which I won't be doing this evening, but when they come through, apparently I look like I've had a facelift. When White Cloud's in, it's absolutely the opposite, sadly. I do a lot of huffing and puffing and all that sort of thing, and pull rather funny faces. And when he's ready, he speaks. Now, with some channelers, direct voice channelers, they actually go out of their body and the other being comes in and takes over and off they go. When they've finished, that person who's lent their body comes back in and haven't got a clue what's been going on. Not so for me. I am totally aware of everything that's being said because we work together. I don't know how to explain it. It's like he's in this side, I'm in this side, and we sort of meet in the middle. And as he's speaking, I literally know maybe a split second before he speaks what he's about to say. And we sometimes have a bit of a conflict. I'm, sort of saying, "Are you sure that's why?" "Yes, Blossom. Are you sure?" So it's a bit like that. And I don't know why he picked me, because I sometimes, I just think, is that what you want to say? Is that right? So that's how we work. And if there's silence when he's in, I ask that you send your love, because although you might just be looking at my face, there's lots going on for me. There's colours going, and the energy might be changing a bit, and as long as I feel secure in the fact that you're not going, "Oh, for goodness sake, I've got a bus to catch," you know what I mean, and that you're sending the love, then I feel that it doesn't matter if I'm there for 5 minutes, because that simply is how it is. Because to bear in mind that for White Cloud to come in and do this, it's not just like, okay, let's get it on. There's so much more involved in the energies coming from wherever he is in this higher plane, and so many other beings unseen that are at work to make this happen for us. And White Cloud is, yep, I'm coming. He's keen. He's very keen. He just wishes. He's so happy that this opportunity is here for him to. It's a very creaky door, isn't it? You rang, sir. Yeah. So he's very keen to speak with you this evening, and I know that he's buzzing so much because the room is so full of such a lovely, loving energy. So we'll just let these people squeeze in on the ceiling, if they can, and settle, and we'll be ready to go. Now, as Rick said, it might be that White Cloud would like to ask people if there's any questions. Please don't be afraid. People sit there and their hearts go, "Oh my God, and can I ask that?" If you feel you have a question to ask, there's probably about 15 people in the room that would like the answer to that question, however you feel. So it might be on a cosmic or a level, whatever you like. Preferably not on a personal one, because it's a bit difficult to read somebody with all these energies in the room. And could I ask, please, that you speak up so that everybody can hear the question that you're asking. And if he can't answer it, he won't. Simple as that, really. So, are we all prepared? I asked too that people try and keep, I know there's a lot of coughs and colds going around. It's okay to have a cough if you can't keep it in, but just to try and respect the energy and what is involved to allow this to take place. So without further ado, we shall bring him in. So enjoy the evening, everybody, and enjoy this very special gentleman who's come through to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Divine Spirit, we thank you for bringing us all together this night, and we ask for a circle of protection around each one of us so that we may be kept safe, warm and protected in your light and your love. We ask now, with your permission, for White Cloud to draw close. And we ask too that this channeling is given with ease, truth and clarity to assist us all as we walk this time upon life's journey in love and thanks. A very warm welcome to each one of you who has taken the time to listen to their soul and come here this night to give it a little refreshment. I am just saying to Blossom that I am ready straight away because it is only polite to open off the ice. It just takes a little time for the adjustment to take place. So please send your love and allow for this. And as the time goes on, I shall move my eye level down a little.